Hi, I'm Bjorn from Skeino. I prepared for today's little session some samples to knit a triangle shawl. And I wanted to go away from squares and rectangles, so why not starting on a tip or in the neck or in another corner from a shawl and do a shawl a different way. And it's very, very simple, very easy. I will show you everything is done in garter stitch, and I will knit a few things, and I did a little template to show you exactly how this is all constructed. So just follow me and let's see what I have for you. 4 samples are here in front of me, and I was quite busy to show you different options to knit a triangle shawl. And it doesn't have to be boring. There are so many different ways to show, but I will take this apart for now and divide this in 2 main groups. So this one goes for now, this one goes for now, and this, and here is my first piece. And to show you better how this is constructed, I will move a little green background to it because I cut a little swatch for you out of paper. It have been or could have been colored, but I think this is nice to see. So you see a few lines here. This is the center line from the triangle, so the shoulder line here is the long line. This is the center line where the shawl develops. And you also see 2 lines here, and I will tell you why. Because this shawl is knitted from the bottom up, and in the center line is the increase. I will show you how I do the increase. So you increase to both sides, and evenly you create the pieces are growing, and exactly at the half point, because these 2 triangles are the same size than these 2. I call them sometimes A and B1 and B2. You will find it on our patterns. So when you knit from the bottom up, you need to stop when your yarn is knitted half up, because you need for B1 and B2 the same amount together. And then you keep straight up to the corner on both sides, but you need to decrease the number of stitches, and you end up finally with 1. This is kind of fun, and it's nice because it has this little shape, the opposite of a V. And the knitting in the center here is just, I will open this up a little bit. You increase 2 stitches out of 1. This is what you maybe already know when you watched my previous movies. Knit, yarn over, knit. So you have 1 stitch to each side, and your work will grow. So this is one piece. The other one is completely different because you start from the top down. So you start at the neck, and you increase as well, but you are increasing on 4 points. That's left and right from the center line, and 1 stitch here and 1 stitch here. So your piece is growing every other row 4 stitches. I did, you see here the opening, because I was knitting the bar below, so it opens up a little bit, makes this a little lace, but it's completely up to you how you do the center line. So you can braid something here, cable, or you can run a lurex yarn over the 3 stitches, or whatever you want to do. And this is the line where the wear is. This has to be really sturdy, and I will show you how I do this. This has more memory here, but this should not grow because your triangle shawl would really be out of shape. So these are the 2 options I will introduce to you. Knitting top down, and you knit as long as you have yarn, and when you're done with your yarn you can bind off, and this gives you the size of your shawl. The first option I showed you was you have to stop at the half point. If your yarn is knitted up half, you have to knit both finishing triangles separately. You can do it together, but it will be always good to have exactly half for the centerpiece and the other half for the other one. And being right here, I want to show you how I do the center stitch with the increase. It is very simple, and I think I just did. No. So here are, I will put this back. Here you can see 3 stitches coming out of the center. 1, 2, and 3. So 1 goes to this side and 1 goes to this side. And the knitting is easy. It doesn't have to appear now, but I will show you how to do it. So you knit one piece, yarn over, and knit another one. And this gives you the 3 stitches and the 2 decreases to let both halves grow. So that was this. And now here, that is the one where you start at the neck and you knit all the way down. And it's very simple because there will be the increase left and right here. And I want to go, this is a back row actually, and I want to show you how I do the increases at the left and the right edge, which one finally will form the shoulder line where the wear is. So this is all garter stitch. I choose to use garter stitch for all my samples today. So this goes all the way to the end. Some yarn here for my cone. So as I said, this is a back row, all knit. But I do my special edge. Maybe you remember that I'm not knitting the last stitch. I just slip the stitch knitwise, turn my work, and wrap the yarn around my first stitch to the back, ready to be knitted, and I'm knitting the back of the stitch or the back leg. So this is my first and the second, and now comes the increase. I'm just knitting the bar below, that is the yarn between the second and the third stitch, to have my increase stitch for the edge. And now I'm knitting towards the center. Again, you can design your center stitches, can be 1 or 3 or 5 or whatever you like, and you can cable, you can run another yarn with this just for the center line. So just give your fantasy an open door and just do what you like to do. So here I'm going to the center, and the increase is similar to the edge, so I have to watch. Best way is have a stitch marker, but I'm very bad at this. So here are my, I can turn it around, one more stitch, and I knit the bar below to increase. Here are my, then I have to purl the 3 center stitches because they are on the front side or the right side all knitted, and here is my increase stitch, knit the bar below. So this is very, very simple, and you can concentrate on let your piece grow. So now let's go over to the 2 other pieces I have prepared for you. Instead of knitting from the top, from the neck down to the tip, or from the tip up to the neck, we can start on the right or the left tip from the entire shawl, and we can knit our way through all the way to one side. And it's very simple because this is your straight edge and this is your growing edge. And because this is a right angle, this is 45 degrees, you just increase every other row by 1 stitch and you will have an even triangle shawl. So this is how I started. This here is the edge from the shawl. This is the shoulder line, which one is a little sturdier. And the more you grow, the more you have your shawl adding some to the size of your shawl. So your pattern, or here in this case the stripes from the hand painting, are going diagonal. They go with a long edge for your shawl. So you can knit as long as you want, and you finish here and bind off. So you will ask me probably, why is here a curve? This is done intentionally because this is where the wear is, and you see when you stretch it, it's a perfect triangle. This is what you have on your shoulder, and this should be knitted a little bit tighter, so when you put this around your neck, it goes to the front and it really fits nicely around your neck. I like this personally a lot. It looks a little bit modern, and it's very simple and easy because you have the increase line here where you increase every other stitch, every other row, one stitch. And I want to show you how I did it. And you will see again my last stitch from the row before is not knitted. So I wrap my yarn around, and I have one. Now I have to change to smaller needles. 2, 3, 4 stitches in garter stitch, and then I increase by just knitting the bar below. That's all. You knit one stitch and then you go all the way down to the end. That's all you need to do, and your shawl will grow as long as you have yarn. There's nothing special to do. And to have this nice edge on the other end of your shawl, it is just slipping the stitch, not knitting the last stitch, slip it as knitwise, and then you wrap your yarn around it when you turn around, so you have on both ends this nice little nice pearly edge. So I will show my little template again. You see, so as much as you knit, you will grow and grow and grow and grow, and when your yarn is gone, you have your shawl in the size the yarn gives you, or you stop earlier if you think my shawl is long enough. So on one side you have the edge from knitting, and on the other side you have the bind off. So watch the bind off that both sides are having the same length. And now my last sample, it is kind of similar, and I started like here, as you see, and I have a little border here because you can use this one on top for the shoulder line, or you can use this on the bottom. Either way is fine, or you can flip the shawl over, and it doesn't matter how you design your own shawl. So it starts with 3 stitches in the edge here, and this line here is created by knitting 1 stitch the front leg and the back leg, and I want to show you how I did it. So here is again for a good edge with garter stitch. Wrap the yarn around the first stitch, I have 3 here, and now comes the increase stitch. So I knit first the back of the stitch, and then I knit the front of the stitch, and that's all you need to do. You need to increase 1 stitch every other row. So your back row is just on knit, and that gives you this little nice edge here. So these are the 2 ways to knit a shawl in a triangle shape: top down from the neck, from the tip up, or from one side to the other. Try something like this. You will have fun. You can use a lot of yarn up and make nice and happy stripes, or whatever. So here is again my little sample. You start from the tip to the neckline, or from the neck to the tip, or the other one. You have to divide your yarn into halves when you reach and when you do the first, what I call the form A, and to do B1 and B2. So that's all for today, and happy knitting. See you next time.